not able to test the
Okay. Okay, apologies for that, everyone. I think we should be back. So I'll go through the spiel again. So you are watching the FRS GT Series. I am Roy Weller. I am joined in the commentary box tonight by Stephen Tutt. Welcome, Steve.
Hello, I'm still very excited for this race.
Good. I'm glad we haven't dampened your enthusiasm with, oh my god, that's Vizo Sue and the car ahead of him both into the wall. Wow. Okay. Well, I hope you've at least been enjoying the excitement we've been seeing on track, even if you've not been able to hear our voices. And, well, I guess maybe a good time again, Steve, if you want to talk us through where we are with the championship right now.
I feel with a lot of the divisions sewn up, and there being, I've counted the gold and silver drivers, and there aren't really enough to have a big effect on the points now. They won't get that big point swing by coming last in their division. The only chance we have, apparently we need to be a bit louder. The only chance they have is Stitchbury and Crusoe if the current leaders DNF, DeMay and Backos. But that's the beauty of these races. It's a whole grid of drivers, and every single place is a piece of pride, isn't it?
Absolutely. And as we said before, well, we were saying before, but you couldn't hear us. But our championship leader, Melvin Helgett, not here for tonight's race, and what we see, as you said, seen Striege win a race before, but opportunity for us to get a different winner here tonight. As well, Colin McDermott still got himself up in P3 with that strong opening lap.
That's that bit of pride I was talking about. He's beat how many people in the division above? It's very good.
And I think there's a few platinums he's above as well. Tom Lightbody is a platinum driver, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah. I forgot he's silver. And only 2 bronze in. Bronze division completely sewn up as far as I can see.
As we come down towards our final couple of laps, just 3 minutes of the session remaining. It's looking like we've got the usual suspects up near the top, though the one that does stand out is Conor McDermott in P3. With this such a long circuit here at Bathurst, and not so many drivers tonight, it seems like everyone's been able to find themselves a decent amount of space, although we have seen a few instances of drivers just following closely behind each other, as Gökhan Akdeniz has got, I'm not sure who that is behind him, but being kept honest up and around the mountain.
Also a very safe spot to be, up near the front before you go through the mountains in turn 1 and 2.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the drivers cope in these conditions. So, not often you actually see night races here at Bathurst, and with the blind cresting of the corners, the not the easiest braking point to pick out at a distance here at turn 1 at Mount Panorama. And with the very cold track conditions, it's going to be a real challenge for the pack to work out where to brake and not to feed into the back of each other.
Yes, and I hope they're paying attention to yellow flags as they enter the mountain section. Well, it is a country road with walls on either side.
Yeah, sometimes not necessary for the yellow flags really to tell you, as occasionally you. As you will get on a country road when you're maybe behind a tractor or so, you get the big queue of traffic trying to get past, because especially as we get up and enter into the second sector of this circuit, very, very easy for a car to spin and block off almost the entirety of the track.
Yeah, watch out for brake lights. There's a lot of people still on laps.
Yeah, lots of people on laps. Doesn't look like anyone towards the top is improving at the moment. The driver we're watching right now, Christophe Demey, is currently improving, though doesn't seem to be by enough to challenge the drivers ahead of them. So with Stitchbury, some 4 cars up the road, looking like that's all going in the way of Stitchbury. Do we know what the offset of points each driver needs to get to secure the Gold Split Championship? Or have I just chucked you a tricky question there?
You caught me leaning across the room, turning my fan off. 1 second. It's 24 points the difference. But in every case, somebody needs to DNF, really, when there's only 4 or 5 cars on the track in each division.
Yeah, sounds like quite an insurmountable problem there.
Stitchbury 24 points behind Demey, which is the closest battle in the medals. Stitchbury and Demey now right next to each other.
Yeah, that was a solid final lap from Demey. Made it all up in the final sectors. Can only imagine they had a little bit of trouble there on previous laps. Looks like Sven Klein has just finished it up and got up into P3. Solid showing there from Klein.
Yeah.
Does seem like the Ferraris are certainly going strong here, although maybe deceptive with just the vast number of Ferraris we've got in this field tonight.
Well, they're certainly front-weighted.
As who else is left to set a lap? We've got Garley. Actually, first of all, will be Lightbody, who crosses the line and goes to P3, followed by Garley, who crosses the line, stays P12, and Actonets, who jumps up to P9. And that will be our grid tonight, as our only driver left to set a lap is currently sitting on pole position. So we will be back in just a few short moments. Tonight's race. Welcome back, everyone, as we're just a few short moments away from our drivers getting started on their formation lap. Got just enough time to take you through our starting order. So on pole position, we have got Strieg, followed by Scott, Lightbody, Klein, Demey, and Stitchbury, our gold split challengers right next to each other. We have McDermott and Sue, Actonets, Van Winsum, Royal, Garley, Spit, Ostick, Moniz, Gabe, Montanino, and finally Bakos, as our drivers start their engines and get ready to pull away on their formation lap. As I forgot to unbound the camera from the car. Apologies for that, if that felt like being dragged behind a car. As Strieg leads our pack around this very dark Bathurst circuit. It looks like Adam Scott and Bakos starting from the pit lane. Not sure
why.
Yeah, not sure if this is Bakos trying to give McDermott a chance of winning the championship, or maybe a bit of hardware problem for the two drivers. But either way, they will be starting some way back.
Nobody's got bands ready. course, one new driver for this race. Joining us for the last race of the season is Baquet, our very own Chronicle from F1.
Do you perhaps mean Gabay?
Is it Gabay?
I thought you said, yeah, you said Baquet. Bacchos is at the back. Bacchos has a band.
I'm told Bacchos has a band. Somebody's done their research.
Yep, thank you, Nordamir in the chat. Our pit lane pundit.
Was it? Oh, I read David. All right, so Gabay, I didn't even know his name.
Yeah, I mean, apologies for calling you out, but yeah, I've got them in front of me on the screen here. I'm tracking the timings. It almost feels like it's like a, as you say, a quiet drive through country roads at night time. The headlights on and the cars all on their formation lap pace. Things will certainly liven up though in the next minute or so once the drivers get round to the start finish line.
It's helping my immersion that they're not clipping through each other at the moment. Oh, it's a long formation lap here.
It really is, especially this straight here is absolutely horrendously painful. Usually completely flat out at around 150 kph average speed. Now they're keeping to pit limiter speeds around 60 kph.
Yeah, must build the tension for the start of the race.
And well, drivers will need to be focusing on their tyre warming, as still very low temperatures tonight. We saw 11 degrees in qualifying. I don't expect there'll be much warmer for the race, so going to be very interesting as they come down to turn 1. Is anyone actually going to just completely lock up, even with ABS? Every chance these tyres just slip straight over the racing surface if they haven't managed to get enough temperature into them. Let's remind you, it's Streege leading the way. Lightbody currently lining up directly behind Streege, as our driver who should be in P2, Adam Scott, is currently sat in the pit lane. So Streege should have just a nice lonely getaway, and the real battling will be occurring behind. Well, it does open up an opportunity here for Klein to just get very deep on the brakes. As we are racing in Bathurst, as predicted, Streege, good getaway, and Lightbody is holding on to P2 with Klein behind and DeMay all in their starting order. It doesn't look like we've had any incidents behind.
No, we had a little bit of fighting for P2, but all that's done is led to a gap to P1. Oh, little bump there.
Looks like we're getting a little bit of bumping, but all so far making it through the first sector.
That's a good shot.
As they ascend the mountain for the first time in this race. Everyone, I think, just taking it a little tentatively. As well, actually some are leaving very few margins to the walls. But it is Streege who's managed to pull out a 2-second gap already in this race. But Lightbody under pressure from Klein as they come down, and already completed one run of the mountain in this race, and so far maybe a few taps and touches at the wall, but very few incidents, as Bakos and Scott will, I no doubt, be very disappointed that they haven't passed any stricken cars on the opening lap. As the two of those seem to be battling quite closely at the rear of the field.
Oh, stay on the track.
Klein just going out over the grass. Battle for P2 in the race. Oh, as Klein running very wide and out onto the grass. Christophe de May just a little bit too far back to have anything to respond to that.
Yeah, Klein using all the track and more on the exit of every corner by the looks of it.
Bizo Su on the back of Conor McDermott. We wind our way back up the mountain. Is a very nice shot.
Of course, Cruiser in the very exciting 6th for a silver driver.
And with his championship rival, Bakos, down in P18. So as long as Bakos finishes, I think he does win the championship, but maybe Conor McDermott just hoping that Bakos gets frustrated enough to quit. As I say that, car number 89 and 79, both with yellow flags. And what has happened here to the number 18 car? Oh! Well, we didn't catch all of that, but oh my word, that was... Yeah, that car is broken. Wow. I think he's trying to get underway, and I'm not sure if he can steer back onto the track.
Just too many hits there.
That car is dead.
Who was it?
And that is Royal, who is now returned to garage. But now, Tom Lightbody under threat from Christophe de May. Lightbody, we must have missed something because has lost 2 positions now, down from P2 into P4. Then Klein's got himself up into P2, and now Tom Lightbody under threat from Ewan Stitchbury. Stitchbury to the outside, tries to sweep it around, not the space, surely, at that part of the track. And now Stitchbury under pressure of Conor McDermott, who himself scrapes along the wall, and now has, I think that is Sue on his outside. It's all happening on the mountain. As well, I did check in a little bit with the driver's briefing at this race, and people were saying, be careful, don't try and race on the mountain. Well, it looks like the drivers are ignoring that advice and absolutely going for it, as yeah, numerous changes of position right at the foot of the mountain. As we
The difficulty is being that most of the driving is done on the mountain, whereas the rest of the track is 3 straights.
As we've already got 4 drivers into the pit lane. I'm not sure if this is people making early pit stops intentionally, or we've got damage.
79 was in the incident with
89.
89, that's it. That's the other one.
But Van Winsum and Garley, I'm just having a look to see how long they've been stopped in the pits. Well, they've both been stopped, all of them have been stopped for more than a minute each. So, yeah, definitely damage for each of those drivers.
Of course, Royale resetting to pit lane, I don't think will change his tyres.
Nope, we'll have to clear his mandatory pit stop later on.
The other 3 seem to have made it round before they got in.
As Adam Scott is carving his way through the order. Already up into P12, is looking up the inside of Gabet. And that is quite clinically through up into P11 now. Scott almost up into the top 10 after his pit lane start.
Yes, I'd forgotten about that.
There's Bakos, our other driver, to start from the pit lane. He's applying the pressure to Montanino, sitting right on his rear wing. Montanino moving over to the inside and leaving it a little late to move over as Bakos tries to sweep around the outside, and he is through up into P13.
Of course, a couple of passes and that incident. He is now third in class again.
Indeed, so things not working out quite as Colin McDermott maybe would have liked them.
What, when he somehow made Bakos start from the pit lane? We're still unsure of why that happened. Oh, was it the...
Well, Bakos we know has... Bakos had a penalty, whereas it looks like us... Yeah, Scott we have no idea. Maybe he just wanted some fun. Oh, as we've got yellow flags out for Gabet. Oh no. This one also looks like a car in a bit of pain. Let's see if we can actually catch the start of this one. Who knows, maybe I've completely misjudged this replay as well, and we're not even going to see the start of this incident.
Not what you want from your first race.
No, I balls that up, didn't I? Okay, well we don't get to see the incident.
We'll spare his blushes for that one.
Yeah.
It looked like he was bouncing off the wall there.
There's Adam Scott. Just about to get himself into the top 10 by the looks of things. Seeming to have the pace over Moniz into the final corner. You can just see the confidence that Scott has, able to chuck the car to the very limits of the track. Will he have a sniff up into turn 2?
Might be close by the end of the straight, but...
It's a long drag down to turn 2. And, well, it's going to have to be under the brakes if he does go for it, but a bit too far back at the moment. And we'll see if he tries something in the mountain, or will just be patient and look for an opportunity at a safer moment. Oh!
Oh!
Well, that wasn't safe. That was bounce off of 2 walls there. So get that one from a different angle. Jeez.
Yeah, what happens here? It's slightly off of... Oh, he hits the inside.
Oof.
You don't see that one too often. Might struggle to stay close behind Moniz now.
Yeah, I wonder if he's done suspension damage to that car, because those were 2 quite substantial hits into the wall. And yeah, the wall doesn't really move much when you hit it. All that energy is going into your car.
Looks like car number 89 has retired a race.
Indeed, did look at the time I looked at it, looked like Royal had already spent 2 minutes in the pit lane, so perhaps just calling it a day. Once you're a lap down at a circuit like this, it's very difficult to bring yourself back into it.
This track especially, he'll spend his whole race blue flagged, which is difficult in itself.
Oh yeah, being blue flagged up the mountain at night is yeah, not the situation you want to be in when you're already quite frustrated at how your race is going.
Yeah, better learn your indicators at that point.
As Stitchbury's dropped a little bit back from light body, as it may actually just be the case that the light body's picked up the pace, because he's now right on the back of DeMay. That's just... Ooh! Whoa!
Oh, well done.
Jeez, that's Klein around. What on earth happened there for Klein?
Sort of driving in his own world there. And...
Oh, what is this camera doing? Jesus. that camera obviously didn't know how to point into the dirt. As Klein goes for an
damage there.
Yeah, that car needs to go to the pits, I think. Wow, that was one hell of a spin.
Well, that'll be an exciting change in anybody who wants to come second or third in this race.
Yeah, it looks like first at the moment seems all wrapped up, although never say never. This is a track where anyone can make a mistake. But the battle is really on for P2. Christophe Demey currently sitting in P2 with Tom Lightbody just behind, followed by Ewan Stitchbury.
And McDermott still fighting there in 6th. Had under pressure for a small amount of time before whoever was behind him crashed into a wall.
Oh, who was it who hit the wall now? Oh, it was Scott. Of course it was.
No, was it? He's really been up and down in the race. We started from the pit lane, got all the way back up to 6, and then then hit a wall.
Bounced off of 2 walls.
Oh my god. We've got Gabby still in the pits.
Yeah, Gary's been in the pits for 1.5 minutes now, so it must have been some heavy damage on that car. Require that length of a stoppage.
Hopefully he didn't have to reset to garage.
No, I do think he drove in there because the time in the pit lane does seem to be longer than the time stopped, so at least we'll get to drive out and have served his mandatory pit stop.
Perfect, he has. So he is in a race. He's going to come out just in front of Garley by the looks of it, who was his main rival in the F1 League. Garley just pipping everybody in the last race after finishing consistently in the medals.
And yeah, really, Gabby did well there to come out so close to another car. Just a 1.6 seconds gap between them.
So, interesting pride battle at the back there. 1 lap behind, 2 laps behind everybody else.
And bear in mind, these drivers have pitted, so there is a chance if anyone else has an incident, could bring them back into contention. So don't rule these drivers out just yet. Especially the likes of Scott Spitt and Van Winsum. As Bakos continuing to charge his way through, and wow, not much between these two as Muniz fighting hard, one of only 2 bronze split drivers in this race tonight, and well, he's obviously deciding that he doesn't have other bronze split drivers to fight, so he's just going to fight anyone that comes near him.
Perfect. It's an 18-car race.
Absolutely, yeah. Especially when there's such an overlap of pace, by the seams of things, between some of these splits. Yeah, you just pick your battles, and if you think you can hold someone off, go for it.
Yeah, exactly. Count how many people in the division above you pass.
And Bakos staying close, and it does look like actually Muniz with a very particular line around that corner.
Maybe a bit too defensive.
It keeps it very tight. We have seen that from Muniz on quite a few laps. It might just be the line that he prefers through the corner, but does open up the opportunity for others to get the better run, but not the space to get alongside. And well, would be brave / stupid from Bakos to try anything through this section of the track.
Yeah, did almost put himself into trouble there. Taking a far too defensive line in an area where you really shouldn't be able to pass if you're sticking to the racing line.
Descend the mountain, chuck the car around the final corner before we get onto the long run towards the chase. Bakos on the blinkers again.
Of course, this was the point where he got really close last lap.
Is Bakos going to look to make a move? Oh, tries to go round the outside and not the grip out there to do so. And jumps back onto the circuit behind Muniz again. And, well, surely must have taken a track cut from that. Cut such a proportion. Yes. Cut the entire chicane out of the circuit there. But that does make him drop now 1.5 second backs from Muniz, and maybe Muniz can relax for a little bit.
We've still got light body very close to Demey. He's been like that for about 3 laps now.
Yeah, not much to choose between these two, both driving the same machinery. Oh, as Demey clouts the wall. You can get away with that a few times, the little side swipes, but that damage does start to add up.
It's hard to work out where cars can pass on this track.
Yes.
I assume it's the last corner. I always found as the...
Yeah, it all depends. If you can get a good run out at the final corner at the bottom of the mountain, you can get a decent run down towards the chicane. But it's very risky to try and move through the chase. We're just approaching now. And yeah, light body not taking the same route as Bakos across the grass. But Demey running a bit deep into the first part of the chicane. Had to take the last part of the chicane very tight. But light body not able to take advantage. But fighting this one hard. It's come around to stop the 10th lap of this race. Such a long laps here at Bathurst. And it almost feels like it's very much a track of two halves. There's the bottom of the mountain where you can race. And then even if you are close together, the top of the mountain's really just a little bit of hot lapping in close proximity. You don't really want to try and position your car alongside anyone.
I don't know what happened there, but Van Winsum was right behind Spit and is now over 2 seconds back, so maybe a failed pass attempt has made him drop back a bit.
As these two are up the mountain, see if Bakos can make anything of this move. Oh, was that a little bit of contact there? It's hard to see from that angle.
Yeah. I don't think so. He was very close.
No, it looked like both cars just sort of moved at the same time, which made it look like they touched, but Bakos is looking to the inside, perhaps just putting himself out of position a bit unnecessarily. He's too far back to really make a move, although it does seem that Bakos has got the pace. Again, you see Muniz just doesn't like to run out wide there as they come up the mountain. I wonder if it's something to do with his setup or just a confidence thing, as it is faster to run out wide there, but it does sometimes feel like the car is slipping away from underneath you.
But it certainly looks slower compared to his rival behind. He's all up behind him every time on that corner. But what does it do for you in this section at the top of the hill?
And sorry to butt in here, but looks like Lightbody is still battling with Demey. Almost got alongside, but not quite enough to make a move. And as we come back around towards the long straight down towards the second corner, again, Demey. So Striege is pitted.
Yep.
No need to panic. We haven't missed a big incident for the lead. Although we just commentated cursed that by talking about a big incident. So what happens here? So Lightbody
sticks his nose on the inside.
Looks to the inside, sticks a nose in, and yeah, there's I don't think you can really put blame on anyone but Lightbody there. That was a nose where a nose should not be.
Bit of damage off the wall. Very unfortunate. Steege back in the group now. No, he's not.
Nope, still in the pits.
I get confused with the fastest lap colour.
Streege, I just want to have a look. How long have they spent in the pits? Has been stopped for almost a minute now. So is that damage for Streege? Did we miss a big incident for the number 33 car? Got nothing on my tracker, but that has been a long pit stop. As, another incident for Christophe Demey. As they come out and
Got damage, of course. Oh yeah.
over Skyline, and sideways through Skyline is not the way you want to be going. Yeah, it needs to get that car back around to the pits because that damage seems to be really dictating how he can drive that car. Barely able to keep it on the track on the straight. That's how beat up that car is. As now,
where's Streege now?
So Streege still in the pits.
Yeah, we missed something. We missed him bouncing off a wall.
We missed something big. I could guess and try and find it, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. We'll have to try and catch that one back later.
Yeah. Or it could be as simple as, gone a bit insane with his pit stop settings.
I'm not sure what you'd have to set up in order for you to be stopped for 1 minute and 52 seconds, as Streege was. But he's back out on the circuit now. Down in 12th. Tom Lightbody now leading this race, though yet to make the mandatory pit stop, but has got Ewan Stitchbury, the company, and breathing right down his neck. It does seem like we've got a number of drivers who are making their mandatory pit stop before the halfway point of this race. Not sure how many of those are down to choice and how many are down to necessity. Although we do know that Christophe Demey, who is in the pits right now, definitely needs to get that car repaired.
Yes, it's going to be a big mix-up when they come out of the pits, isn't it? There's going to be chances for guys in 3rd, 4th and 5th to all of a sudden come out in 1st after pitting.
Yeah, so we've Klein being our leader of those who have pitted. Currently in P8. No. My timing tower is getting confused. I think Klein is in P8 now. You should see that update. Yep. So leading the way in this net race, but be interesting to see who comes out where, as we've got an Audi of Ostick leading the pit lane alongside our race leaders. Slots in just behind Stitchbury, so won't be interfering with that battle, as Ostick seemingly getting out the way for cars behind as well. Doesn't need to do that, I don't believe. Is still on the lead lap. Actually, no, he's not on the lead lap. Of course not. Just to come out of the pits. They're getting blue flagged.
Yes, there are some of the front guys in the mix here. With the front guys, it's a good sign for them that Demey, with all of that time fixing his car, has only come out second in his split of drivers who have pitted. So I assume they can pit quite safely.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see when people come in for their planned pit stops. Sometimes I feel like at a circuit like this, you're better off actually fueling yourself long, just so that you can pit later and hedge against any later incidents. Because as soon as you make your mandatory pit stop, any damage you pick up after that, you're either going to have to take to the end or take a second pit stop.
I think that flexibility is a must, isn't it? Otherwise, you're tying your hands to forcing yourself to pit into an awkward situation. You've got to go long just in case.
And at the moment, the only battle on track seems to be between these two drivers, Stitchbury and Lightbody. we've got Sue just behind them, also yet to pit, and seemingly in a good position to come out towards the lead of this race as well. And Conor McDermott, I'm trying to work out which of these drivers so far have pitted without incident. Looks like everyone has had a pit stop of around a minute, other than Garley, who was only stopped in the box for about 40 seconds. Everyone else, it looks like they've pitted for damage.
Yeah.
It shows how treacherous the conditions are at this circuit, as
We've got Actonez coming into the pits now, which will be a good marker for where the rest of them are going to fit in. I think just from the way DeMay came out, they're going to come out in front of everybody.
yeah, so DeMay was stopped for 1 minute 15 seconds, and if this is a scheduled pit stop for Actonez, should see them coming out fairly close to the front of that pack of drivers who've cleared their mandatory pit stop. And yeah, this will, if they're able to, our lead drivers would love to see where Actonez comes out, because this is going to give them a lot of information for their race. As we can hear the back marker ahead. I'm not sure who that is. Imagine must be... Looks like an Aston Martin, so I think that's maybe Gabay? Yes, it is. As another of our drivers peels off into the pit lane, I think that's Sue going to serve their... Oh no, sorry, Stitchbury serving their mandatory pit stop now. So this will be interesting to see how far ahead of the rest of the pack Stitchbury emerges, as Actonez comes out just 4 seconds ahead of Klein. Klein, who did stop for slightly longer and had damage. Actonez with a little bit of damage to clear, but has come out at the top of our drivers who have pitted. So Actonez going very strong at the moment.
Stitchbury in the pits.
Yep, Stitchbury in, and Bakos in as well. Bakos, who's been slowly making their way up the order. Be interesting to see where they emerge after starting from the pit lane. And was that the car ahead of Van Winsum just clattering the wall? There's Montanino looking like they're trying to rip the new canards off of their McLaren Evo.
Just saw the headlights do a whiplash, so I assume something happened.
Oh, so we've got the yellow flags out for Gabay. Have they managed to get themselves going again? Oh, the camera whips around to try and find the car. They are going again, heading down Skyline.
It's a shame. It looked like it was going to be a good battle between him and his rival Garley. But Gabay having a tough introduction to the FRS GT Series.
Yes, we've got a number of drivers out of position here, all sort of mixed together on circuit, but some of these are on the lead lap, some of them not in this section of the track.
Yeah.
As Tom Lightbody has peeled into the pit lane, so unless he dives in as well, Conor McDermott, who has not dived into pit lane, will inherit the lead of this race. Going along as Ewan Stitchbury emerged in P4, and that is Adam Scott behind them. Scott, who is currently a lap down and is going strong, but not really get too involved with Stitchbury here, unless they're confident that they can get by and drive away.
Stitchery on the lead group with having pitted now. Still a lap in front.
As Tom Lightbody has emerged from the pit lane just ahead of Stitchbury. Stitchbury should have the overspeed coming down towards turn 2.
And warm tyres.
And Adam Scott is not making this that easy for Stitchbury. And yep, Lightbody. Oh, looking like they've got cold tyres. Oh, and drags the car along the wall. Stitchbury up into the lead of the race, or the net lead at least, and well, Lightbody losing out there, and I wonder how much damage they've done to the side of that car. It looked like a heavy clash into the wall.
No, that is unfortunate. It's just the cold tyres and the pressure from behind.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just coming out of the pits there ahead of their rival. Had to get right on the limit from the word go, and seemed to overstep that limit. And now, I think Scott, driver who's currently a lap down, but perhaps seeing some weakness in the driving of Lightbody, would like to try and make their way through.
And not slow in any version of the word. Could definitely hang with these guys.
And it's Lightbody having a look. It's going to look around the outside. No, way too far back. They get on the brakes, and the three of them emerge from the chicane in the order they entered. Oh, we've got yellow flags out for Actonets, but seems to be pointing in the right direction. Maybe just a bounce off the wall down the mountain. As Mitchell Van Winsum looking like finally going to make their way past Montanino as they head up the mountain. Oh, and Montanino didn't seem to want to stop steering into the second corner and bumped straight into the wall.
What happened?
Looked like a little bit of a slide out on the curbing, and oh, they don't even emerge into that camera angle. Slid right out of camera view.
Just a bit too much pace with the wrong line, wasn't it? It was far too wide, going far too quickly.
Striege fighting their way back up the order behind Christophe Demey, heading down towards the chase.
Yes, of course, Striege with the accident in the first stint, which has led to him to be back here. A very long pit stop.
Oh, and I think I'm just seeing yellow flags for Sue as well. Sue running in P2, yet to enter the pit lane. I think is now just diving into the pits, as yep, that camera angle was showing me absolutely nothing, so I can only imagine diving off into an unexpected location. So
Who hired this helicopter?
I know, right?
He spends half the race spinning in a circle.
It's night time, they're probably tired. As Klein is catching up with Actonets.
I feel like in a lot of our shots, I spend my time looking in the background to see if people are hitting the wall. It's we seem to miss quite a lot of the damage that happens in the mountain section.
Yeah, this is one of the few tracks on the calendar where drivers can have an incident all on their own, which unfortunately means it doesn't show up on the instant tracker. The instant tracker only picks up things between two cars.
So it looks like we've got the second bronze driver finally coming in for their pit stop.
And Conor McDermott going for the go long strategy by the seams of things.
Just wants to be talked about a bit longer.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's just too far ahead to get themselves on TV.
Yeah. This is it. If you're going to crash in the hill section, this is the time. We won't catch it.
Oh, we've got yellow flags out for Montanino, but it's a short yellow flag section. But Klein chipping away. Oh, chipping away at the wall. It's not what I was going to say, but sure, we'll go with that instead.
Should have lost a wing mirror there. We've got McDermott finally coming into the pit, so we might see. Oh, Christ! Well done. Well done. He absolutely slammed the accelerator to avoid hitting the wall there by the looks of it. Oh my god.
These drivers not showing much fear as they traverse the mounting section. Perhaps they should just be paying it a little more respect.
Yeah. So we'll see who's in the lead of this race now. It looks like Stitchbury most likely.
Stitchbury in the lead, but followed closely behind by Tom Lightbody, who's looking for every opportunity to try and come by. And yeah, worth pointing out actually, a number of these drivers running special liveries for the finale, and yet we can't see a damn thing of them because they decided to have this race at night.
Yeah.
Just an observation.
I didn't know that was a thing. People have special liveries for the finale.
Yes, I was asked in chat to make sure I download all the special liveries for this race. Can't tell.
Can't put fluorescent paint on the cars. So.
I mean, they look very nice as they go along the start-finish straight, I guess, when the floodlights are on them. But otherwise, you can just see headlights.
We're having we've been watching a very nicely illuminated rear of Lightbody's car for the last 2 laps.
Yeah, Adam Scott here, our mobile lighting man. Yeah. He's just illuminating our battle for the lead of this race. Very nice of him.
Doing very well racing so close in the section.
Oh,
there you go.
You just had to say it, didn't you?
Said it.
Oh.
Might have just been the speed of the car behind.
So I think it's just Tom Lightbody, a little deep on the brakes. I think Stitchbury was running wide there, had to throw down the anchors a little bit more than Lightbody was expecting. And, well, that has put paid to that battle.
Yep, Stitchbury with 3 seconds now.
I guess that was the fortuitous thing, at least, that Stitchbury was able to come out of that one ahead, so Lightbody not being able to take advantage of that mistake that they made. But we'll see if either of them decide to peel into the pit lane to repair the surely inevitable damage that they received from that incident.
Yeah, with 20 minutes remaining, that's a calculation that the driver's going to have to make.
They have got quite a substantial lead over Sue. They're really only battling each other, so it's just really going to be the differential in damage that they're carrying rather than any sort of absolute value, I guess.
Yeah, one's damage to the rear and one's damage to the front, so I think I know which one I would prefer.
Yeah, although I wonder if for Stitchbury it's a bit more balanced out as they were punted into the wall.
Oh, were they? I missed that. Oh no. Well, they're catching a little bit.
As Ostick is making their second pit stop for this race.
It's a shame, running third in class. Doing pretty well.
There are a few drivers I can see on the tracker here who have also made multiple pit stops in this race. As only one driver has been in the pit lane 3 times, and that is Adam Scott. But one of those times was to start the race, so only 2 pit stops during the race.
Yeah, that's cheating.
But, to not be dead last after that is impressive. Klein.
Jesus.
Leaving absolutely nothing in the tank is Klein, and well, as I think DeMay just clipped the wall behind as well. As we're seeing jolts from all of these cars as they're descending the mountain.
Had another retirement there.
Yep, I think that was the driver I said who just peeled off into the pit lane. I unfortunately cannot remember the name.
Nope. Neither do I. They were. All I remember is they were third in class, and doing well. Moni's doing very well for the one of two only bronze drivers in this race.
Yep, as Christophe DeMay just slices past them. But Moniz seemingly keeping this, keeping to the philosophy of just driving safely, keeping the car under control. Was actually one of the few drivers to looks like they haven't pitted for damage. Only 34 seconds stopped in the pits, and is yeah, having a really strong showing here tonight. Just keeping it sensible.
Making sure they finish with their beating some of the drivers in divisions above.
Yeah, and as it stands, on the road for a top 10 finish. As I think that was Striege just pushing at the moment and getting out on the dirt, giving DeMay a complete shower of dirt as they come through to start their next lap. And as this battle between Actonitz, Klein and McDermott continues, continue to watch this for a while because Klein, a driver seemingly just wanting to give us as much entertainment as possible, going sideways through most of the corners.
Right, careful braking on this last corner.
Whoa, and they are super close as they Klein into the wall again.
Get too close. Of course, Crusoe keeping an eye on this battle from about half a second back.
And yeah, shout out though to Bakos, who's clawed their way back up into P7, second in class, just behind Conor McDermott.
Yeah.
And yeah, after a pit lane start, very good showing from them. We've got yellow flags for Garley, and they've been there for a while. What happened to Garley? They're descending the mountain. Oh, just clip the curb. Oh no, that is not a good place to be stopped. This is what I was saying about you can just become a roadblock. Oh, Austin Powers moment right there.
Oh, what's the F1 driver? I can't remember his name. Is it Sangra Nathan or something? Yeah, very reminiscent of that.
Whoa, Klein with the little bit of a weave down the straight. A little bit bad manners for that.
Flashing for apology, I assume.
Don't know, as he goes very wide. And that's going to open the door to Conor McDermott, who's side by side. Are they going to try and go side by side through the 600? Yeah, that was always going to happen, wasn't it? McDermott into the wall. You don't try and go around the outside there for good reasons.
Wow, it's going to be interesting.
For these two, I think, carrying considerable amounts of... Whoa, was Klein! Misses an apex and barely misses a wall.
I don't want to...
What is going on here? The Scott is leading Lightbody and Stitchbury. And making this an interesting battle as we just check in with the two race leaders.
I'd like to point out Lightbody was catching Stitchbury up until this point. I don't think Scott has caused too much havoc just existing on the track in front of them. It's been going down by 0.3, 0.4 a lap since their incident. So maybe not quite even damage on Stitchbury's car.
With just over 13 minutes remaining as well, Stitchbury's going to have to really concentrate now for the rest of the race, and especially with the blue flag car of Scott sitting ahead, not getting out of the way but not really pulling away, could just be distracting as well.
Yeah, not really close enough yet to, since this battle's got a bit closer. The two leaders have slowed down a little bit. Now we've seen a few incidents from the car following the car too closely down this hill section, but you want a chance to pass on the next two straights.
Yeah, well, we don't want to see Lightbody go into the back of Stitchbury again. Yeah, you can put once down to you know, a mistake. Doing it again, it starts to look intentional.
Your Ferrari theory is holding up quite well in this race.
Wow, I hadn't looked, but yeah. I mean, wow, the top 7 cars, all the same manufacturer. That is a very strong performance from the Ferraris here. And I mean, admittedly, some of that down to people who haven't been in Ferraris making quite catastrophic mistakes. As our driver currently sitting on the fastest lap was leading for most of the race, Striege, and but unfortunately, we believe had a collision with the wall.
Yeah, the safe Ferrari. I haven't heard that before.
Oh, Lightbody
Very
closing.
close.
He's going to try and go around the outside. Washes wide, is careful enough to keep themselves away from the wall. And sometimes in this race we have seen drivers just absolutely launch it with no regard for their own safety. As McDermott has made their way past Klein. So what's happened here? Oh, Klein running wide at the first corner, and in the end, quite a simple pass for McDermott.
Almost collision. Kept putting his wheels back on the track there. McDermott had the foresight to move out of the way.
Yeah, give the driver space to rejoin. You don't necessarily have to do it, but sometimes self-preservation is the most sensible choice. As the battle for the lead continues between the two damaged cars of Stitchbury and Lightbody. Worth also pointing out that Sue behind is lapping about 1.2 seconds faster than this pair on average.
Really?
Per lap. Is probably not going to be enough to be anywhere near by the end of the race with that gap of 16 seconds. But it just shows how much either the battling or the damage is playing into the pace of these two drivers.
Despite tipping wheels off the track there, Lightbody still closing.
And Scott has just pulled away from this battle, so the two of them left alone to fight this one out. I wonder if there's just a little bit more front damage on that car of Stitchbury, because it does seem that Lightbody is getting the good runs down the straight on each and every lap.
Yeah, well, I missed him hitting the wall, but you said he went forward and he might have damage on the front and the rear. Probably get a little bit more damage on the front, smacking into that concrete wall than bouncing off of the rear of another car.
Oh, nose to tail.
But no grip. You see no grip on the car behind. He's sliding out.
Now that's what happens when you get right under the rear wing of the car in front of you. No air for downforce for you.
The trouble is, we know what happened last time he was this close.
Yeah, please don't repeat the incident.
Confident and safe on the brake, you'll catch him on the straight. Oh! Well done.
Jeez. They are nose to tail.
That's probably closer than he's ever been before.
Doesn't look like it's going to be close enough for a move.
It's a long straight, he's 0.2, and he seems to do the chicane better.
Oh, but he's moving to the inside for the chase. But backs out of it in the end. So Stitchbury holds on to the lead with just 8 minutes of this race remaining. And doesn't look like this pressure's going to ease up anytime soon. So Stitchbury needs to be on it.
He couldn't leave it hanging out there long enough to hinder Stitchbury's entrance into the chicane, could he?
As we've got another battle brewing over P4. McDermott and Actonets. McDermott attacking the driver of the split above. And actually also worth pointing out that Stitchbury, not our top split driver. He is in the gold split. Against Lightbody, who's in the platinum split. Always very confusing with the colour plates we have here. Obviously only 3 available, but 4 classes. That's McDermott with a good run on Actonets. Just looking to the outside. Again, we always see the lead car just defending that inside line. Actonet's going very deep into the corner. I think that's opened the door for McDermott. McDermott through.
Don't normally see that move work.
No, I think Actonet's just trying to go a bit too deep on the brakes, trying to cover off McDermott's attack around the outside, and misjudged the braking. And that's allowed Conor McDermott through into P4.
Looks like 2 or 3 drivers back in the pits.
Yeah,
Gabby back in the pits, Klein and Backos back in. Klein, of course, we saw slide into the wall a few times. Didn't look too bad, though. Oh, who's this?
So that is Montanino, I believe, emerging from the pit lane. Our sole McLaren in this race.
And second bronze driver, who hasn't appeared much so far, just driving his own race back there in 14th. It's like Lightbody getting up close again to Stitchbury.
Yeah, it definitely seems on this circuit is one thing to get close, but another matter entirely to try and get by. As Lightbody has been basically has literally touched the back of the car of Stitchbury, but we'll forget about that one. But has been very close to the rear wing of Stitchbury all throughout this stint. But we've only seen a couple of instances where they've managed to go side by side. Wow,
again, very close.
Tom Lightbody not being cautious through that.
Either he's learned his lesson very well or not learned his lesson at all since the contact from before.
Yeah, I wonder the proportion of that which is between luck and judgment, but wow, that looked like it was a dangerous switching of positions, but
it's difficult, isn't it? It's a bend to the bend there, so he returns back to the right to turn left. It looks like 2 or 3. It looks like 3 moves, but
as I think that's Scott off the track ahead, picking up dust, but these two still so close. Is Lightbody going to go for a lunge? Nope, thinks better of it.
But he did. Stitchbury looked like he did turn in early to cover that. So I don't know if it hinders this straight. He's going to be up close as he usually is, trying to go around the outside at the end of this straight.
Doesn't look like Stitchbury
Too
is
far back.
looking to defend either. Lightbody really just needs to try and unsettle Stitchbury from his line, have a look somewhere unorthodox, not necessarily go for it, just make Stitchbury look in his mirrors and try and defend. Oh! Lightbody clatters into the wall. It's he's absolutely throwing everything at this battle.
Not sure how much effect that has on these two already damaged cars.
Might just balance it out, who knows.
Certainly feels like that happens sometimes in this game. Horrendously close despite hitting the wall. I don't think he could get any closer than the last lap on this final corner of the hill section.
I don't know, we have seen him get closer.
Yeah, it's true. I went closer without touching.
As they drag down towards the chase again. It does seem that
He's got something. He's got something that's hindering that straight line speed.
Lightbody does seem to always have... Oh, so this time Lightbody's got the inside. Going deep on the brakes. He's made the corner. And Lightbody up into the lead of this race. Ahead of Stitchbury. We have to wonder whether the stewards will be looking to apply a penalty to Lightbody after this race. So Lightbody really needs to try and drive away if he can. They're already on the defensive as Stitchbury pulls alongside for the first corner. Stitchbury trying to switch back, getting the run down towards the second corner. Slipping back into the slipstream, but Stitchbury super close to Lightbody.
Looked like he had a good run in him, but just no space with the car going from inside to outside.
As Lightbody goes defensive, Stitchbury sweeping wide.
Now, if previous laps are anything to go by, with Stitchbury's pace through this section, will be the test for Lightbody. But we've seen Stitchbury bounce off the wall all by himself.
Oh, we've also seen Lightbody bounce off the wall all by himself, so anything's possible in these final, well, I think what will be the final lap of this race. Tom Lightbody currently leading the way.
Don't they do one lap after the time? What's that?
Nope, so if they pass the, if the clock hits 0 and they pass the line, that is race over.
I wouldn't know. I've never finished on the lead lap, so I don't know.
And there we go. So clock has hit 0. So just a few corners left if Stitchbury wants to try and retake the lead of this race on the track.
Of course, we know that there is a steward's decision to happen.
So any result from this race is provisional, but on track at least, Tom Lightbody takes the win here at Mount Panorama, followed extremely closely behind by Ewan Stitchbury.
Doing a big celebrate there.
Vizo Suit takes P3. And then we've got a little bit of a wait for Conor McDermott, who, well, had good showing in qualifying. In the end, started this race P7, finishes P4. So a good showing there from Conor McDermott.
Yeah, done very, very well for the what is P2 in the Silver Championship.
Followed behind by Gökhan Akdeniz. And then the driver who started this race on pole, Las Strige, who, well, must have had some sort of incident somewhere, but unfortunately we missed it.
Yeah, massive pit stop.
And a driver who had an incident that we did not miss is Christophe Demey. Brings it home a P7. It was going to be a tall order for them to take the championship. Or did they take? Who won gold? Was it Stitch
Who won
Free?
gold? Yeah, Stitch Free must have won. Well, 1 second. 24 points difference. Yeah, Demey still won gold.
Oh, Demey won gold. Okay.
Yes, despite Stitch Free obviously won that race, but there's not 24 points difference between them.
Congratulations to Demey for the Gold Split Championship. Obviously, Marvin Helget already taken the Platinum Split Championships and didn't need to race tonight. As Muniz crosses the line as the leader of the Bronze Split. It is this driver, Christoph Gerglibakos, who will take the championship for the Silver Split, finishing just 3 split positions behind Conor McDermott, which is enough to secure himself the championship. And our Bronze Split Championship was won by another absentee, David Lee. And that brings us to the end of another season of the FRS GT Series.
Because there was one change, light body also being in the gold split has secured 3rd place.
Congratulations, Lightbody. Would him moving down to P2 change that result?
No. No, it's it's my calculations. It still finishes Demey, Stitchbury, then Lightbody.
Congratulations to all our split winners in this race and the championship. I'm sure the FRS GT Series will return someday in the future, so please check the link in the video description if you want to join the community and join the next season.
I believe August, right? I heard that somewhere. August. Someone correct me.
Big if true. As no, Demey, that jump is not in this game. That you're thinking of iRacing. As Demey clouts into the wall. Well, that is the end of the FRS GT series. I have been your host, Roy Weller. Thank you for joining me, Steve. Always a pleasure to have you in the commentary box.
Thank you for letting me be here in the finale. Best race. I'm normally racing, so I can't come, but best race to commentate if I can.
Thank you very much for watching, everyone. Have a lovely rest of your day. Good night.